Hello and welcome to WWE Discussion. I'm your host and WWE enthusiast Dougie Doug. In today's episode I'm going to be discussing Friday Night Smackdown, December 15, 2023 edition. And this edition of Friday Night Smackdown had the return of the Tribal Chief, the return of the Undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, along with continuation of the United States #1 Contenders Tournament. And with that, we'll go ahead and get right into the action. Starting with the return of the Tribal Chief, who found himself confronted by the Legend Killer Randy Orton. So Roman Reigns returned to SmackDown Friday night and was confronted by his next challenger to his title in Randy Orton. The Viper issued words of warning to Reigns, recognizing his growth and evolution as a wrestler, but vowing to take everything away from him, just like the Tribal Chief took 18 months of his career away from him. Orton then threw down the challenge for a match at the Royal Rumble, which was denied, and then Reigns nearly ate an RKO for his trouble. This was a good first showdown between these two, even if the verbal back and forth did not match the tone of the backstory between these two. Orton will likely up the intensity on the road to the Rumble, rolling through the bloodline before only Reigns is left. He probably will not win, but it will be interesting to see who or what cost him his shot at revenge. United States Championship Contenders Tournament, Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory, and so far in the tournament this was the best match, with Theory focusing his attack on the broken right hand of his opponent. Owens sold mightily for Theory and mounted a comeback using every limb except the affected one. Ultimately, Theory was determined to target Owens' hand and expose it by trying to rip off the cast, which did not work and ultimately doomed him, as the prize fighter would rock on his said cast and score a pinfall off of it. Good action, a focused story, and great intensity from Owens elevated this one and set up what should be a good match between Kevin Owens and Carmelo Hayes next week. Mia Yim and Zelina Vega versus Asuka and Kairi Sane, and with this match, the Kabuki Warriors have made their official return, and for the second week in a row, Bayley helped their damage control teammates to victory, lending an assist to the Kabuki Warriors, who defeated Mia Yim and Zelina Vega in tag team action. A good back and forth match that showcased the tag team chemistry that still exists between Zayn and Asuka, while highlighting Vega and Yim more than expected. This was an effective continuation of the damage control story. Now the tension between the other members and Bayley, it's still very much there, but I'll give credit to the role model. She's doing her best to prove herself to her teammates, even if it's not going to matter in the end. Main event, Randy Orton versus Jimmy Uso, and after the match, AJ Styles not only made his return, but he attacked LA Knight. And speaking of LA Knight, he was told to stay in the back but opted not to after Solo Sikoa tried to run interference. LA Knight instead run interference and kept Sikoa out of the match, allowing Orton to strike Jimmy Uso with the strike of an RKO for the victory. A post-match beatdown then ensued, with Reigns and the Bloodline looking dominant as the show neared its conclusion until AJ Styles returned, launching himself off the top rope and laying out the Tribal Chief. As the show was about to go off the air, confusion reigned supreme, and WWE decided to add on to it, with Styles laying out Knight and then walking out on his own, leaving Reigns and the WWE Universe confused as to what happened. Although AJ Styles had to came back looking in great shape, and notably he didn't have his blue ring gear, he had all black gear. So that to me looked like a pretty good hint of where this is going. You're doing Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, so what do you do with LA Knight in the meantime? Well, I don't know, maybe put him in a match with AJ Styles. That could work. I think that could work. That seems like a pretty good use. So credit to WWE for finding something to keep LA Knight occupied and on TV, even if it's not a world title program. In conclusion, the closing moments of the show were a good exclamation point on what was a good episode of SmackDown. The air of mystery surrounding Styles and his attack on Knight, moments after coming to his and Orton's aid, made for a good cliffhanger. It creates intrigue ahead of next Friday's show. Beyond that angle were the two tournament matches, both very good or better, and the return of Reigns elevated the quality and significance of the show. A focused broadcast with some strong wrestling, interesting storyline development, segment and the potential start of a big-time storyline involving AJ Styles. So yeah, the road to the Rumble on SmackDown just got a little bit more interesting, and that's always best for business. And with that, we'll go and wrap up this episode of WWE Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below.